And from Rosa Parks, and I quote, "You must never be fearful about what you're doing when it is right." End of quote. With that, I bid you welcome to latest Rendezvous, the most preferred TV magazine program on our loop and in Nigeria. How are you today? How is your family? My name is Becky Thorpe. This is latest Rendezvous. Welcome once again. How was your weekend? How is your family? How was your salad break? Hope you had a very, very swell time. All right, on the program today, I am not alone. I have my co-host. I have to my far right, my darker, lovely Ebony Queen, Charity James, who is of course our producer.
Good morning.
Good morning. I love this.
Delicious, Becky.
Oh my baby, you're looking cool. Looking fly. You know, there's something I like about you. This your thickness. Okay. This African mama.
Let me flaunt myself.
Oh, please do that.
And then show her that
now what?
I'm raining.
Bold and beautiful, big and beautiful. All right, of course, to my immediate right, the runaway queen, the runaway baby. Manu, how are you today? How are you feeling? Looking for a traditional wedding. Are you pregnant already?
I mean, all those questions keep coming. Chubby, you left the country, you know, this, and that. But I am so glad that those comments are beautiful comments, and I say amen to them all. You know, leaving the country.
Okay, because you're wearing Madzi now. Something is fish.
Getting pregnant. They're all good things, right? Traditional marriage. Bless you. Thank you. Amen to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is latest Rendezvous on your preferred television station, OGTV. Ogun State Television will lead and other people follow. On latest Rendezvous, we discuss anything and everything. On the first leg of the program, which is our appetizer, and of course the curtain raiser, is our newspaper review, where we bring you news items that caught our attention over the weekend. And thereafter, we bring in the discussion segment, where we bring in our resource person to give us professional perspectives to the issues on the front burner. And of course, we'll serve you the dessert, and you are involved in it. We open our phone line for you to be a part of the program. You can even join us on Facebook. The address will be reeled out on your screen. Let's take a breather. When we return, we will serve you the newspaper review. Thank you for staying tuned to OGTV. The program is still latest Rendezvous. All right, let's go straight to the newspaper review, because we have lots and lots to discuss this morning. We have two wonderful ladies. You would love to hear from them.
All right, the first paper we'll be reviewing this morning is the Punch newspaper, and we took out this headline that says, "Marketers finally hike petrol price to between 170 to 190 per liter." And the story for the same premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, will now be sold between 170 naira per liter and 190 naira per liter in filling stations across the country, following what is believed to be a subtle agreement between federal government officials and oil marketers. The development was the outcome of a meeting between the Nigerian Mainstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority and oil marketers on Thursday, that is last week. Sources privy to the meeting said it was agreed that the pump price of petrol should be increased by 10 naira per liter. A market survey on Sunday revealed that price display boards at some petrol stations in Lagos reflected new prices starting from 170 naira per liter and 175 naira per liter. Let me leave it at that, and we'll analyze it, because I know that before the meeting we'll be having 200 naira here in Abeokuta.
Okay.
I know some filling stations sell 200 naira, 190, 175, and saying they are going to increase to 170, between 170 to 190. I think maybe they are deceiving us.
Actually, I think it's been the bottom line is the ripple effect on the economy, transport, food, clothing, shelter, housing, everything increases.
Yeah, I think it's just 10 naira. I mean, what is 10 naira? But
it's not.
That 10 naira, yes, last time I bought petrol, the rate of 195.
195.
And it wasn't easy because the amount I would use to fill the tank was the amount that I used for
the half tank, yeah.
And that is not funny at all. So imagine if the life of a transport worker, maybe a driver who is a public transport driver who has to buy petrol, maintain his car, pay bills at all, pay the house.
I said that it has a ripple effect on all the sectors of the home, the market woman complains, all those things. I think it affects the common man.
It just bounces back on everything you can think of. Not that ordinary way do. Vegetable, they tell you that the transport fare is too much, this is too much, that is too much. So and
I know that our taxi drivers now are abusive. Because you want to, in fact, you want to beat down the price they are giving you, and they turn it to fight.
I understand they're probably promo. They're very careful because sometimes when I'm going to that place, I have to just try to calculate where I'm going to. Okay, when I'm passing through this area tomorrow, I will drive to that place. I don't have to go there today.
So try and kill 10 birds with a stone.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move to the next story.
So the next one is from the front page of the Tribune newspaper, and it's about ASUU strike. NLC to embark on nationwide solidarity protest on July 26th and 27th. The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has said that it will embark on a nationwide protest on July 26th and 27th in solidarity with the trade unions in Nigeria, public university, and others. So the NLC president, Mr. Ayuba Waba, said this in a circular jointly signed by Mr. Emmanuel Waja, General Secretary of the Congress, on Sunday in Abuja. The news agency of Nigeria, NAN, reports that the circular, which was issued on July 15, was addressed to the chairperson and secretaries of NLC state councils. So their plan is just to storm the streets to support the ASUU and NASU, which is an arm of NLC, just to support them, asking for whatever it is they're asking for. And then the most important thing is for the students to go back to school. Because I remember, I remember calling yesterday, I was asking my sister, I asked her, how far is ASUU? Have you guys heard anything? She said no. And all she needs to do now is just clearance and then go for service. She's done, she just needs to do her clearance and go for her service.
I think this strike is affecting a lot of families.
It's affecting
the economy because you have a lot of young people just roaming around, doing nothing, eating all the food at home. If they were in school, they would have managed.
People will be like, go and learn something. Go and acquire a skill, go and learn a trade. But I'm sorry to say this. I mean, I'm not even
everybody can be an artist.
Everybody can learn trades. Everybody can do business. Some people are just made for the
white collar jobs.
They're just made for that.
Some of us are made for the academy. Some of us are made for TV, made for radio. We are made for farming. We are good for different things. So please, we appeal to the federal government. If there's any agreement that you have to do, please try and come to a compromise. Come to the table. They say it's a round table. Just now, it's no longer a round table. We call it a square table. Let us be fair and square. Please, let's just try as much as possible and let our children, our students, our brothers and sisters go back to school, please. Let's take a breather. When we return, we'll bring you the discussion segment, the role of women in politics. All right, welcome back. This is still Ladies Rendezvous on OGTV. The role of women in politics. For me, a better democracy is a democracy where women do not only have the right to vote and to elect, but to be elected as well. And of course, that's by Michelle Bachelet, head of the United Nations Women, former president and defense minister. And Madeleine Albright opines, and I quote, "Women's empowerment is gaining ground because so many brave women have been unwilling to accept anything less." End of quote. The national average of women's political participation in Nigeria, according to research, has remained 6.7% in the elective and appropriative positions, which is far below the global average of 22.5%. Africa regional average of 23.4% and West African sub-regional average of 15%. But we are not looking at the statistics, but we are looking at the role of women in politics. In Nigeria, with advancements taking place and with the advent of globalization, there has been an increase in the participation of women in the political sphere. The participation of women within the political sphere enables them to acquire an efficient understanding of the problems and challenges which need to be overcome for leading to progression of the country. I beg your pardon. When women render a significant contribution in political participation, then it is vital for them to possess the essential skills and abilities. They need to be aware of the strategies and approaches to promote the well-being of a community and the nation as a whole. With this, most importantly, women must know and understand their roles in the polity. This is a springboard to our conversation this morning, the role of women in politics. Our guest, the first guest, is Alaja Afusat Adekombi, our community leader. You're most welcome to the program. You're looking fly, Daka lovely.
Thank you very much.
Eyes of family, Alaja. I like your AG.
Oh, thank you. That's why I need to do another one for you.
Yes, I think I need that. I like it so much. I like it so much.
Okay, so then getting one then.
Yes. All right, so beautiful. It stands out. Okay, as a community leader, let's take a look at your experience. What has been the journey so far as a community leader involved in politics, because community leadership is also politicking?
Thank you very much. Good morning once again. My name is Ajay Afusat Adekombi. As a community leader in community as well, everybody belongs to community, and community starts right from the home. In community, we have less women participating in community as well, and the organization of everything starts from community. In community as well, we have few women at the ends of affair of the community. If you go to all the CDAs, you will hear Mr. So, men, they are the CDA chairman. It's only few CDAs that appoints women as their CDA chairman. But in that area that you see women being the chairman of that CDA, you will see that the CDA will be very, very okay. They will coordinate themselves and they will be disciplined. Then everything will be organized in a perfect and smooth way. That is why we need more women to come out into community and participate more in community affairs. Because once you are able to participate in community affairs, there is no organization that you are not supposed to be fitting.
Okay, madam, sorry. I was once a community leader, but I was one of the ESCO members, but I had to withdraw because I didn't like what I was seeing there. It wasn't amorous anyway, but I didn't like what I was saying. I didn't like, you talked about women coordinating the affairs of the community. They stand out when they coordinate it. Now, as a community leader, I went through some things because I was part of them, the ESCO. Now, let's talk about your experience. What are the challenges that you are facing, or what were the challenges, or what are the intending challenges you want to face? What are the challenges involved in this leadership position?
Thank you very much, Auntie. As a community leader, women will face a lot of challenges Because there is no how men, they don't like women to rub shoulder.
Yes, I was going to say that. So
They don't
how
like
have you been
women,
coping?
yes, they don't like women to rub shoulder with them. And there is no how women, we have some women that are very of high quality and high standard, but men, they don't believe there are women that can do better than what they are doing. Being a woman, we have a lot of people that we can control. Like in the community, there are a lot of things that's going on. As you've already said, you are one of the ESCO before, but right now, with the age of the technology and things that people are now elites, we have more elites in community that come in, unlike before that they leave the community for riffraff.
Okay.
But now, more elites are coming into the community, things are changing. People are coming out so that people hear their voice, unlike before. Maybe because of the religion or the African mentality that causes it. Anywhere that women stand to rub shoulder with men, they find it difficult. There are a lot of challenges. They call you some sort of names that you are not named with.
Okay, madam, before you go on, let me ask you this very salient question, because I hear that when you go into politics, that means you are dirty. So are you saying women in politics are also dirty?
Oh, that is part of the African mentality. That is what is on the crowns. Women in politics, we are not dirty. We are corporate. We are sensible. We are tolerant. We can do a lot of things than men. Because in Africa, we believe that once you are mingled with men, you are one of these. They can even call you name, Ashawo, all these names. But being an elite, you are educated, you know what is going on. You've traveled to another country, you see what is there. When you come down to Nigeria, we like to practice what we've seen over there. So that is why what is happening. But when you go to another country, they don't call the women involved in politics any names.
They don't even see the agenda. They don't see it. They are all equal.
But the major problem that we have here is the gender equality. We have it here. Men, they find it tough for women.
So, Alaja, you mentioned earlier that when it comes to polity, community leadership, people think that men fit that position the more. So I want you to enlighten people, especially women, because most women believe that politics, leadership is for men. Yes, so that's why sometimes when women are vying to attain particular position, you really find women supporting them. So why is it important for women to participate in politics?
Thank you very much. It's very, very important. As we have, we must think of gender equality. When men are doing this, women too, we must support, we must do it. If you go to politics or anywhere in community, you find more population of women than men. Go to the markets, go anywhere, go to the community, you find that women that participate in politics, they are more than men. But unfortunately, the problem that we women we have is finance. Finance is the problem. For women to come out with finance is very hard, but for men, they are there being because they've already known it that this position, this thing that you are
I'm sorry to cut you short, but you said finance.
Finance.
I would like to disagree.
Okay.
From the perspective of not all this men that comes out, I think are financially buoyant, are actually financially, people support them with finances.
That's where
So why is it different for women? Why can't they get financial support?
From fellow women.
From fellow women or even men.
Thank you. I would like to come in
Women
this way.
supporting women.
Yes. That's the major problem. Call women in politics, okay. For example, we are 4 now. We want to support somebody. Let's say we want to support you to become the president of this Nigeria now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's okay. Bring 5 million, bring 10 million, bring this. You know, being women, you think, I will assist my children on this. I will do this for the family. How will I say 5 million? We will now come to you and appeal that, we have only 500,000. How will you cope? You can see that for women to support ourselves, we normally come out to support, but in terms of finance, because let's be sincere to ourselves, women, we are not buoyant like men. But men, when they even go to their clubhouse, how many women are going to the clubhouse?
Not.
Yeah.
Plenty.
How many women?
Lots. Lots of women.
No, I bet you disagree with you, Lola. Lara, please. Clubhouse is not all women that go to Clubhouse.
No, I said women, I said what?
Lots of men. I would say that the African setting, this part of the world, you find a woman going to clubbing, they believe you are going there for something negative, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I believe that
Unwinding things.
yes, going to a clubhouse, you mingle with the people that make the timber and calibers of the society.
Yes,
because that's where you find, you don't find them in slums, you don't find them in the trenches.
In Africa, they don't think like that, but that is really that is really how it's supposed to be. But men, they have many organizations, many clubs, many friends that are ready to donate because they know that the moment you get there, they will have 1 or 2 appointments. But women, for them to bring the money out for women to spend is not really easy like that. But it's easy among the men, why not easy among the women? I started ourselves as we are sitting like this as an example. How many of us can we bring money out? But are they being their men? They will be able to. They don't care. And it's not even our fault. It's not that we don't have the money to bring out. But we think of the many responsibilities we have at home. How to take care of what? Our children. Instead of giving your friends 5 million, you prefer to spend it on your children.
Are you saying those men don't take care of their children?
They do. But the passion that women ask for the children
Is much more.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's take a look at participation, women participation in the polity of a nation. Now let's take a look at our own setting. Do you think that our level of participation is up to expectation? Do you think is enough?
My darling sister, not at all.
Why?
Not at all. Thank you. Number one, women, we are not in aim affairs of decision makings.
Okay.
Once we are not in aim affairs of decision making, we will not be able to coordinate, to direct. Why people wise? We have many followers that are dependent upon us. But when we are not at the aim affair of the decision making, how are we going to?
All right.
How are we going to coordinate with them? So that is it. Then men, they are not giving us leadership role to take.
I learned that power is
we try, we force ourselves when it gets to a certain stage. We force ourselves, but the backup, there is nothing that you want to take without the backup, without the support. That will be very easy, my darling sister. That's the major thing. Now, my advice is women should support women in all ramifications. In terms of money, in terms of advice, in terms of coordination, everything. Once you hear there is a woman fighting for this post, make sure that all of us we rally around.
Don't you think that the reason why women don't rally around each other is because we don't have confidence in our abilities as women?
You are correct.
And sometimes when you have a woman in leadership position, they rub it in your face. Even when they are driving.
Yes.
You see it happen. Yes, it happens a lot.
If you are not careful when you are driving, they will like to lead you out of the lane.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's the reason why that's the reason why we don't support each other. Maybe.
And apart from that, I think the experience that people have had with female bosses, female bosses or leaders, the way women are just created to be detailed. We are very detailed.
Okay. And people have a problem with that.
They have a problem with that. So when they've had series of not that good experiences with female bosses, they say, the women this woman.
I think the reason why people have that position about women is because people refuse to conform. People refuse to align to the correct things, and women like to be detailed.
Yes, correct, very detailed.
Any organization, the woman is the head of that organization. Number one, there will be discipline.
Yes.
And men, they don't like that. Number one, as I've said, that African mentality.
Yes.
They believe that women, whatever you have, depends on the kitchen at home. You're supposed to be at home. But when you are trying now to rub shoulders with them, they feel that at least she's a woman. She's a woman.
And that thing is really
I have someone like her that I'm feeding.
And I'm feeding. How can she be talking to me like that anyhow? So we look at that.
Why are you feeding? Feed your wife.
Ego problem.
Ego problem. Thank you very much, Elijah. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's call it a wrap on the first leg of the program. The next leg of the program will bring our next guest. Let's take a break. All right, thank you for staying tuned. The program is still Ladies Rendezvous. Now on the second leg of the program, we are still talking women in politics, the role of women in politics. And we have with us Bere Mujidat Balogu. She is a social worker. You're most welcome. The last person I know who bears Bere is your last mother. Are you related?
No.
Okay. All right, most
Bere is the title.
Bere.
It's either the first daughter of a family or the first daughter of a town. I say when it's when
So I'm a Bere.
That's really? I'm a Bere.
but this one now is the Bere of Imekola, which means the first daughter of my own town.
Okay, all right. That's interesting.
Of course.
Okay, even they call theirs Adab.
Yes,
Adab. Okay, now, but let's go straight to business. We would have loved to read your profile, but we are going to cut that short.
Okay.
We want you to have a robust conversation with us. Now, let's talk about the role of women in politics. We have been talking about the challenges, money, and all that. Now, the role of women in politics. What's your opinion?
Once again, thank you for having me here.
Okay.
And good morning, viewers. There's no way we'll just jump into roles in politics without first of all identifying with what women are currently facing.
Okay, let's look at the limitations of women participation in politics.
The limitations.
All right.
So the roles, they come in two ways. There are some that are the complementary ones,
Okay.
and there are some that are in the executive positions. And the complementary ones are where you find a lot of women, you know, and there's a paradigm shift now, whereby women are moving from the clapping society.
Just the voting clip. Yeah.
In fact, the voting clip is even more dignifying than the clapping. When we clap men into positions, by the time those men are in positions, they don't even remember how they got in there by means of that. Okay, so people clapped us in here. When we talk about clapping them, the followers and
The cheerleaders.
the cheerleaders.
Okay.
Then the population of women worldwide is more than that of men. We are talking about more than 50%. Men are below 50% of the population.
Okay.
And when we now go down the lane again to say how many people are actually involved in politicking, how many people are, which gender is more when you call meetings, when you call for clapping them into positions, 80%, 85% of them are women. And the frustrating aspect, excuse my language if I want to use it, I'm very passionate about this, is that women, and you see that there's no woman or very insignificant percentage of women at the table of decision. So how are women represented? How are the situations of women addressed when their representation is not there? So be that as it may, when I talk about the roles of women in
Before you talk about the rules, but how do we find ourselves in that quagmire where you don't have women at the helm of affairs? Because I have also been
qualified women.
Yes,
yeah.
qualified women.
Qualified women.
Well, before you say qualified, if you're not qualified, you can't even be in that circle in the first instance.
No, there are women that are not really educated and they are playing.
And they are qualified.
You can only say, no, education is, I think there's something called, for my own school of thought, there's something called native intelligence.
Exactly.
So you don't have to be this official Western.
That's what she's trying to say. That they are trying to pick those who are educated, and there are not many.
There are not many.
Yeah,
and it's because the three of us are not involved. We are sitting down here speaking.
We do have to.
Everyone must be involved, and I was very happy.
I'm sorry,
Every woman must be involved.
Wait,
how?
Yeah, well,
Because I'm not in politics.
No.
Politics is from your mother's womb.
Okay.
Yes, because you fought all those boys before you came out.
At the beginning of the race of life.
Yes.
It was at least you interacted.
Yes.
Politics is about interactions, relationship, and the ability to come up with how do we want to manage ourselves.
Okay. Yes.
Then when I said you started from your mobile, that's from millions of what formed you.
Yes.
Okay.
That is politics and biology.
I understand what you're saying.
Politics starts from creation.
Yes, the race, and you won the race, and you came out of your mother's womb.
Yes, a lot of what became you contested
What do you call that?
to be the one
Okay.
that will be in that position.
Right.
Is that not politics?
It is.
Yeah. So, and thank God, or maybe some people will prefer to come as twins. You survived all of them to be in that position.
That's the vice and the vice.
And when you now, when two people now bracketed themselves into that position,
Okay.
then there's another tussle for, you see, there's never a twins that are of the same size.
At all. They don't even come at the same time, one at a time.
One at a time. That's still the struggle. Politics is a struggle. Politics starts from home.
You see, I'm so amazed because your explanation of politics is so interesting because it's coming from a woman. So, I mean, the analogy...
See, that's what you're saying.
the beauty of politics.
Look, for us to be able to really appreciate what we are as women, I don't know how to describe myself, whether I was a technocrat or I worked in a multinational organization for over 30 years, and anything with, just like politics in quotes, you don't see me there because I see that as a very dirty environment, very rough and with mean people. And when I say mean people, I believe they were wicked.
And you lost out on that. You lost out because you were not involved in it.
Yes, but somehow, with the NGO stuff, I mingled and so on and so forth, moving from one office to the other. That's a discussion for another day. That was how I got into politics. Except we are all involved. We will continue to suffer what we are suffering. I'm not a female chauvinist, I'm very sorry. I don't believe in a situation where people will sit down and say, oh, 35% affirmative action of Nigerian adjustments of the national gender policy, or the fourth world conference in Beijing, that Beijing conference, 30% affirmative action. What are you affirming? Why can't you affirm yourself?
Be involved.
Yes, be involved. You don't, in tables of opportunities, nobody reserves a seat for you there.
Wow.
You go to table of opportunities with your chair. Nobody can take it from you.
Yes.
But the seat is being reserved for you, which is this affirmative action that we are all crying about, talking about. I'm very sorry. I don't mean to undermine any woman, but let's wake up the giant in us. And honestly, by launching out, I didn't launch out to go and rub shoulder. I launched out to be part of the table of decision.
Okay, Alhaji, I'm sorry, something got pop up now. Now, Funke Akindele is the deputy governor picked candidate for Lagos State. And one thing I hear people say on social media is that she has not settled with her home.
Not people, mostly women.
Mostly women are saying she is not settled with her home and she wants to go and settle a state. Don't you think those kind of words will bring some people who want to go into politics and one they are single, they are divorced, or they are not even married at all, they are not even in that circle at all? Don't you think those kind of words will not make them come out to show what they can do for the society?
That's what I just said something. I said, affirm yourself.
I was going to respond to
Do you know what? If you want to know how your father met your mother or toasted your mother,
politics.
Not only joining politics, go and contest. The bed sheet, the color of that bed sheet,
They will tell you.
They will
describe
it even though they knew nothing about it. But by the time they finish describing it, there is no way you will be able to wriggle out of it to say, no, this is not me. Funke Akindele, yes. A lot of things have gone
Even turned to decay.
A lot of things, when we talk about civilization, we talk about modernization. In those days, yes, you will say she can't settle her home and she now wants to go and administer. Who told you that if you are not good in maths, you can't be good in English?
Thank you.
Who told you if you are not good in English, you are not good in maths, you cannot be an artisan?
And why is that role only for women? Because we see men who are in their third marriage or fourth marriage or not even married
You know what I
that
think?
contest.
You know what I think? I think that in this part of the world, marriage is overrated, unnecessarily overrated. What is our issues with marriage? You will see somebody who is just pretending, hypocritical relationship, coming down, I'm a married woman, and she's going through a lot of domestic violence and she's not talking. Some of them won't die. You find them coming to criticize somebody that's a single parent. She's single, she's not married, she's divorced. What is your business with that?
We're not even advocating divorce.
We are not.
We're not advocating breaking of homes. But honestly,
That's not the yes.
We are being objective.
Yes, that is, it's not very
Face the
objective.
issues.
It's being subjective. Whatever it is, Funke Akindele is doing well in her own field.
Yes, she is.
And if she could manage that aspect of her life, her passion, if she could manage it so successfully, and let me tell you something about the life of a woman. A woman is perceived to be heard, not to be heard and not to be seen. Religion, tradition, and even the stereotype mindset of the society.
Even the women themselves.
Even the women themselves. Look at the way we bring up our children. We bring up girls to conform, to be limited. If you say conform, that's a very mild word. To be limited in life. You say no, you are not a boy. You don't know what you are doing to that child. When that child is trying to bring out her skills, her talent. You say no, you can't. You are not a boy. And all the time you say, look, you boy, you are the leader. You are the head of. You already started doing that. You already started indoctrinating those things into that child, and they are growing together.
Okay, so once elected into office,
sorry?
Once a woman is elected into office, let's say, okay, just like Funke Akindele or any other woman is elected into office, would you say women actually participate? Would you say they actually represent and carry out their responsibilities?
I've answered this question severally, and most of the time I don't give popular answers. Women in positions, we have the good ones and we have the other ones. I don't want to mention names. When a woman and the very bad ones, the bad ones are very, very few. But the bad ones are the ones that they are so prominent and in a very sensitive position that anybody will see everything that they are doing, and they are not good ambassador of the women. And we have women that are, when you talk about administration, you can't compare a man with a woman. We are good administrators, starting from home management. But my challenge is women in positions are not helping women to climb.
Good.
We are not playing that role well at all. There's a current senator, when they were vying in the state and there was this struggle and so on and so forth. So some people went to meet them for kind of settlement. I want to be hypothetical here,
Okay.
because we're on air and
Okay.
so during the course of the mediation, one of them now said, look, you are a senator. Why don't you start advocacy of how to bring women together, more women to aspire for this position? She said she fought all through on her own. As a result,
So the next people should also fight.
So mentoring is not there.
Except we begin to come together as
mentor.
women. Our roles that you just asked me to enumerate here will be so insignificant that it may even fizzle out. Tell me how many women have assisted another woman or women to grow. All my life, if I want to talk about how I got to this stage of my life, I don't think there's a single woman.
God.
The challenges are this 30 or 35% affirmative action must start from inside us as individuals, start from there collectively, then we now launch ourselves.
Okay, now, Hajia, Berry. Okay, Berry. Now, I want to ask you this question. When women find themselves in these political positions,
We have
based
a
on your
call.
experience, okay, we have a call. Adegu from Mowe. Adegu, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm very interested. I'm very interested in this program. I didn't get to know it.
Okay. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. It's very, if Nigeria can allow men permission.
I think, are you
We are not hearing you.
well?
We can barely hear you.
Hello?
We barely hear you.
Okay, please, can you repeat yourself again?
Hello, are you there?
I'm getting
All right, I think there's a network issue. All right, now, do you think that women are able to deliver when they find themselves in these political positions? Because we've had some negatives in the past, and we've also had positives, and there are still positives. And I believe that if I find myself, I will deliver.
So can't they realize the positive
Yes.
one?
But be a question is
Is a positive? Yes, we have
Yeah,
them. We have
Dora,
lots of them.
Dora,
So-
The
really?
late Dora.
Yes. So do you think
Fantastic
women
one.
can deliver? The crop of women. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Do you think the crop of women we have now can deliver?
I will not go by the crop of women. Please just excuse me, because it's that one is relative. We'll
Okay.
talk about the crop of women is very, very relative. But when we talk in terms of, are we presenting the women that can deliver? I believe if the women that can deliver are presented, will do fantastically better than the men. But most of the time, these kind of people may not get there as a result of what we are talking about here. You have to be a brother to, you have to be a sister, you have to be somebody to somebody, not based on merit. If it were based on merit, and you draw from the caliber of women that have antecedents of performance, women will deliver.
Okay.
But most of the time, we have a lot of them. Look, how many ministers do we have? We have just 6 women as ministers. How many of them have you seen perform so that they can leave a legacy that, look, we need more women to come and solve these problems? How did they get there? Were they chosen from capable hands, or as a result of who knows who? If it's based on who knows who, we may not be able to gauge the rate of success of performance of women. But if we want to gauge it based on ability, and when we talk about ability, what is the track record? what is the background, where you come from, irrespective of your level of education. Education is something that we go to education to open our brains. A lot of us, this is not what you read in school. What I practiced and retired from was not what I read in school. So if we can have a platform, if women of substance can put up a platform based on criteria, you create a platform that you have criteria for people to belong to, then we can begin to pull resources from there. Yes, women will do very, very well.
Okay, now let's take a look at the challenges women face when they are occupying these positions, especially from the male counterparts.
The challenges part of the challenges are, as number one, as a woman, don't see yourself as an underdog. Don't see yourself as I want them to see that a woman can do this better. Be yourself. Be yourself, and don't be sensitive of your own gender.
So women in positions are always trying to prove a point
because of the way we are being perceived. So because of the way we are being perceived, they are too difficult, they are very rigid, and as a result of that, as much as they want to do well, but those things will be like stumbling blocks to their success. I've occupied, I'm sorry, I retired as assistant general manager of a multinational organization, and I headed, I moved from corporate to the company, assisting the company secretary. From there, I moved to manage all our vendors and our contracts. Do you know that I don't even see myself as a woman in anywhere I go to? So I don't even see that you are berating me as a woman.
And I know that these our brains don't even know if you're a man or woman.
Number one, if you go there and you're not buried in this
in ephemeral things, fashion, makeup, and all that. You see, I believe that the reason why men
don't take us
seriously is because some women pay too much attention on these things.
Do you know what? I joined politics, though I didn't measure the depth of the river before I plunged into it.
Okay.
I contested for Federal House of Representatives for Iwa North Imekoa Federal Constituencies. When I got in, I didn't see woman, I didn't see man.
All the same.
I didn't. I wasn't even conscious of myself as a woman. So when you treat me somehow, I don't say, oh, so is it because I'm a woman? No way.
So it starts with the mind.
The mindset.
So Barry, at what age should a girl start thinking about politics? Because you said we should start from small and introduce
from
it.
The cradle. From the cradle. You begin to assign responsibilities to that girl child, and encourage her to be class rep. I encourage her to be, I don't know whether I made a timekeeper. Don't say it's a man's job to be a timekeeper, head girl, and you must be doing some things. Maybe there are assignments in class. Take the lead. Teach her on how to take the lead. She starts gradually. Before you know it, she's already in leadership.
Thank you very much, Barry. Thank you so much, Barry Mujidat Balogun. Thank you so much. This has been a very, very wonderful and robust conversation. We hope to have you some other time and on some other programs here. Okay, thank you for coming. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of the program. Let me leave you with this one by Michelle Obama. It says, and I quote, "There is no limit to what we as women can accomplish." End of quote. And another quote by our one and only Barry Mujidat Balogun says, "In the tables of opportunity, nobody reserves a seat for you. Take your seats there." All right, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful week. My name is Becky Thorpe. Cheers from all of us here. We'll say bye.